By the way, all you guys are late, apparently. If you arrive after a little bit, you guys know the drill. You're late. Oh no, this is the court day. Really? What did I do last time? Oh, wait a second. I think we had a brief recess. That's what happened. We had a recess, and then Lana Sky told us to... Well, she got Gumshoe to get us these files. That's what happened. So we're not even on an investigation day. But I do have to go rock Claire, so I'll be right back. Okay, a little bit. I will not move past this screen till you get back. We're gonna wait for a little bit. I'm just kidding. I am absolutely just kidding. We'll fill you in a little bit. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. So yeah, if that was just the recess, I don't know if this is the last. Maybe this is the last part of this case. I don't know. We know who Destoria's favorite is. No, we're moving on. Emma didn't come back. Oh yeah, Emma ran off from the courthouse. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. I wonder if this is the last episode for this case, because I can see this wrapping up. We know he's involved, but I don't think it stops with him. As I've said before, I'm pretty sure this guy right here is behind everything, and he's using him. Why? I don't know. Witness, please state your name and occupation. This chump. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know, you're a patrolman. I hope that's not alcohol, because I'm pretty sure if that's alcohol, he's not allowed to have that. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. I love that emote. It's so cute. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. And we know he wasn't there. He left his post. At least that's what he told us. Is that correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. We gotta wade through this guy's comparisons and poetry. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Yes, please. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. Yes, thank you. My exact thoughts. I am a mother-loving cowboy, half cow and half boy. Daddy was a cow and mama was a boy. What the? Holati, holati, life's a nightmare. That would be a horrible nightmare. I don't want to have that nightmare. I'm so sorry, Nano. That must have caused you considerable trauma growing up, Nano. And I am deeply sorry. Every word in that sentence was a surprise reading. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day. That ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at the street side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Oh, he's trying to nope out early. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. Yeah, he's trying to get out of here. But we can link him to the crime scene. That's the thing. So he was there at some point on the day of the murder. He's lying about that. We know that. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Dang, he's got some sass. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint activated locks on the evidence lockers? I was just thinking that. Fingerprint activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? Huh, interesting. Is he lying? Does he not know about it? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. No, he's not. Everyone's got their weaknesses. Now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? Phoenix is like Axel in Kingdom Hearts 2. 2? Oh my gosh. Kingdom Hearts 2. It's been a very long time since I've played that game. I'm gonna be honest. I think when I started realizing how complex the story got, and how I hadn't played any of the side games, I got a little demotivated from playing the rest of them. I love and loved Kingdom Hearts, but I don't know. I feel like it started to go away from me. But I would like to revisit that series and maybe do a full playthrough, um, in some way, in some form. It's only one of the best games of all time. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2, I fell in love with. I fell in love with that game. That was like the best game I had ever played in that time period at the time. No, Nano, I agree. I loved that game. And I still do. I haven't played the third one. The second one is definitely amazing compared to the first one. The first one was good. Of course, the first one's iconic, but the second one really started throwing the plot twists, and it was a good amount of plot twists. It was a good amount of character introductions and stuff. It really just kind of, expanded what was going on to a really nice degree. But like I said, it's when I realized how much I had missed by not playing the side stories and how much there was to play, it just kind of demotivated me from following the series, which is a real shame. But like I said, I do want to return back to that and play the best parts and such, even if some of those games I just watch the cutscenes of. Because I do want to like see all there is to Kingdom Hearts. Like the others are okay, but Kingdom Hearts 2 is top 10 games of all time. That's a high praise, Nano. Kingdom Hearts will always have a special place in my heart. It was a game changer. It really was. Absolutely. Kingdom Hearts defined a generation for PlayStation. People that played PlayStation, Kingdom Hearts defined that generation. For sure. Absolutely. Role-playing the first one makes you wonder, how did we even make it to Kingdom Hearts 2? So clunky, especially compared to 2. Yeah, I know. I know that was a huge upgrade mechanically. I remember Kingdom Hearts 1 being super, 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 super clunky. But the story and the characters was just so good that you just push through it. It was so unlike anything else at the time. And I think it really helped to have like the tie-in of Final Fantasy and Disney. I mean, it was just a winning formula, you know. This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Judge is not too impressed by him either. Man, the story to Kingdom Hearts 1 was alright, but I hated playing that game. I know. The freaking Coliseum, too. Hercules Coliseum. Oh my gosh. That was a pain. That was a pain to do. I know it was optional, but I only played Kingdom Hearts 2. I played like the first 5 minutes when I was a kid. Kingdom Hearts made me realize I had depression. Like imagine a kid Nano starting up Kingdom Hearts 2 and just in tears. Like, fuck, I really am sad. Wow. I guess it kind of connected something for you, Nano. Stuff like that is stuff that you remember. Things that make those kinds of connections for you. That's stuff that you never forget. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still. Even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who interred the recordings. You interred them? Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes started to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life. Well, that's depressing. But I see where he's coming from. I'm still glad I was able to beat Sephiroth in both Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I know, oh my gosh. Freaking Sephiroth. I thought 2 was bad, but my buddy said I had to beat him in 1, and holy fuck did 2 seem like a cakewalk. Yeah, the quality of life improvements was definitely needed in the second game. This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So, in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right? Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style. I'm afraid I don't understand. You don't understand, Phoenix? No desperado I know lets rules get in his way. I don't think you should be a police officer. That's the impression I'm getting here. Oh, I'm gonna wait for Mariawi with the ad. It's because it should be because you're. Oh, you're just being smug. You're just being smug, Nano. I see what you're doing. Well, unfortunately, not everybody can afford no ads. So I have to accommodate. I don't have to. But I know Mariawi wants to to not miss this, so I'm gonna wait for this one. Bah! Mariawi is bad. Alright. No desperados I know join the police force. So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime? Just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day. There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that? Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired? My thoughts exactly, Phoenix. Yeah, and I can tell you the exact line that made me just reflect on the fact that I had depression from Cage 2. No one would miss me. Was it Roxas that says that? Or Axel? I'm guessing it's Roxas or Axel. I'm about 95% sure it's one of those two. I think it's Axel. It's Axel, right? I'm locking in Axel. No. Roxas. I remember that conversation. He's saying that to Axel. Yes, I remember. And then Axel says that he would. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Yep, it was Roxas when he left the organization in the flashback, yep. I was right! Of course, back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. There's no way you can't tell people how a bike works. That's quite, incredible. It is incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Is it? How do people that access the lockers not know? That doesn't really make a lot of sense. Now you mention it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too. Well, I'm locking in Axel. Well, you're wrong. No, well, it was Roxy who said it to Axel. Yeah, I did. I did course correct, yeah, because I thought more about it. I was right that it was one of the two, and it makes sense that I thought it was one of the two because those two are the ones involved in the conversation. At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place? Why does he still have a job? Limited hiring pool. Yeah, I'm thinking that's the case. What were you doing in a place like that? I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel's steak lunches can beat that parlor's vongole stipia pasta. Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles? Not all desperados eat tacos, partner. That's not the point. That's not what I meant. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson. That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want a raise this year?" Yes, objection is right. Edgeworth knows something. He's not objecting because he knows there's an issue, but he doesn't want to raise it. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall? I'd abandon my police duties for spaghetti. Well, let's hope that you never become in a position to do that, Nano. That's right, partner. Or as you call it, evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. One saying seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently, your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I'd best keep my cool. Before I use it, though, I'd better up the ante. Up the ante? That's gumshoe for you. I know. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amor. Alright. So, Phoenix said we need to up the ante first. But what does he mean by that? Alright, so let's... I will say that playing this game has gotten harder now that I haven't played in a week. Regularly. Like I had been playing twice a week, so it's been easier to remember things across last time and this time. I don't know what Phoenix means by upping the ante. I mean, the only thing we've got that links him to the crime is this. Let's think about this a little more. He already said he didn't know about the locker. Let's press this again. This is usually where Edgeworth says, do not want to erase this here. Wait. Are we trying to say that he was there first? Are we trying to, like, prove that he was there before we spring the bloody fingerprint on, or bloody handprint on? I mean, there's no record here. This freaking creepy video. Alright, I'm just gonna submit the bloody handprint because I don't really know what it's wanting from me aside from that. Are you serious? Phoenix threw me off with that comment. He's like, I've got an ace up my sleeve, but I need to up the ante first. There is no upping the ante. This is our only ace. The thing that you said. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, game. I love it when it wastes my time with bad context clues. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? Hey, a little bit. Welcome back. Nailed it. Yeah, oh my gosh. This game, it's... Oh, I love it, but it's so frustrating. Thank you a little bit. I will hydrate. Waste my time 2024. I know! There is no upping the ante before we deliver. That's the only thing we have. There is no upping the ante. That's going for the throat. That was so painfully obvious, the thing that we should do, that the game threw me off of it. I already knew that's what we were going to give at some point. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. That hydrate is also going for the throat. Yeah, in a different way. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Huh. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. Objection's right. I object to this game being silly. And also Marshall. I pay my respects, that is. Make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. That's not the fingerprints we're talking about, Marshall. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, I'm Detective Phoenix, and I do the job of forensics. Your fingerprints were covered in blood. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints were at the crime scene? The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall, it seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. Oh, where's he gonna go with this? I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the blood-stained fingerprints? Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints. Mary Owie, what is that? I saw you opening up Vroid. Found at the scene of the crime. Pfft, okay. Girl isn't allowed to work on her model? No. She is.
Nani the fuck?
But I just know she doesn't have two monitors like Rezi and Little Bit. Historia says, objection to Mary opening up Vroid. Yep, objection! Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? How'd he know that the murderer was wearing gloves? We've never said that. Oh, we've got him. See, I had nothing to do with it. We did not mention gloves. About the murderer wearing gloves. Although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. That's because you, how did you put it? Pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? What do you mean? I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently, his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Okay, we had our evidence updated. Found on a bloody handprint on Marshall's own locker. Print has been wiped. So then, what about the bloody handprint? Wasn't mine. It's no mystery. Please explain. My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened. The chances of that happening were 1,000,000 to 1. On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why? Unrelated. They're as different as night and day. Kinda like cereal and cereal. I think he is. He doesn't even know how to use a bicycle. And that is by his own admission. He does not know how a bicycle works. Now, I don't know how that's possible. But that's what he said. That's what he said. When were bicycles invented? We gotta figure this out. Now I gotta look into this. Bicycles were invented in 1817 by German inventor Karl von Drais. Probably saying that last name very wrong. His machine was known as the Swift Walker. That's interesting. Looks like it was very different from the bicycles we know today, but 1817. It's crazy. That is crazy. One's got to do a breakfast, while the other's a type of murder. He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different. Yes, Judge, thank you for the commentary on that. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. I think just Marshall and the Judge see. How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a blood stain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handle. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. Yeah, that's the one that... Now let me think about this. Why would he take his gloves off? Hold on, I need to review something real quick. Because if these two prints were from the same incident and one of them was from someone wearing gloves, why is the other one leaving a fingerprint? Unless the glove came off, or... it's left by two different people. Wait a second. Is he wearing gloves? I can't tell. I don't think he was. I don't think he was wearing gloves. Last time I remember seeing him. That's too hard to tell. I don't think the perp is wearing gloves. Well, what we deduced is that gloves were used, surgical gloves were used in the crime, if I remember correctly. Someone was using surgical gloves. I don't know if that's changed now that the nature of what we know about the case has changed. I'll replay it again, though. I can't pause it. I used to be able to pause it. I don't know why I can't now. It's hard to tell. Pretty sure I saw a fingernail. Yeah, it's really hard to tell. I'm just trying to remember what we heard from previous sessions. Wait a second. This is why. This right here. There's no prints here. And there was something about a surgical glove that was used. Unless it was wiped? I don't know. So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal of blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards. There he goes with his poems again. There's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Uh-oh, the pressure's on us. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall. Did we press this? How do you know that? Okay, I don't know why it put us on that one. I don't think we pressed this one. I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the report. There was a blood stain at the steen, thought to be left by the murderer. Wait, did we do this? However, no fingerprints were detected on the handprint. Am I going crazy? Yeah, we did this. We did this one already. Alright, that makes sense. Ads in a minute, okay. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. That's true, they could have crawled underneath it. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. Alright, I'll wait for the ads. Hey, Pedro! Welcome in! Suck to suck. Wee. How are you doing, Pedro? How's it going? Glad you could make it to the stream. Right now, we're waiting on some ads to pass. And I'm watching this violent video. Let's go! Finally catch your stream. Yes! You did! I don't know what we're looking for, though. Wait a second. The locker was open. Did you guys see that? It was opened in that time. I never realized that until now. Alright. Alright, look at this locker over here. There's nothing. There's nothing in it, okay? I wish I could fast forward this. I've never noticed that. Out of all the times I've seen this video. And then here he comes. Coming to get wrecked. Gets slashed. He goes for the neck, gets thrown on the locker, gets attacked. Bunch of stuff happens. Ad's over. Okay, guys. Watch this locker over there on the corner. This is something I've never noticed before. Out of all the times watching this, I can't believe I've missed this. But I can understand how I did. Alright, and now look. Look at this. Look at this. The locker was open. That's Marshall's locker. I know why I missed that. I think my brain turned off after it got closer to the end. That I wasn't really looking for anything else. Yes, Pedro is here. Alright. We have evidence. I'm very surprised that I found it that quickly as well. For completely missing it up until now. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. He doomed himself there because he wasn't aware. The fact that he wasn't aware that there was fingerprint sensors actually worked against him here. He was probably thinking that you could just open it. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright. You might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now then, let's have another look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness, Officer Jake Marshall. Now we can actually control it. Alright. We know where it's at. So let's just move past all this. Alright, and then... He worked really fast. Alright. In the time that this right here, he's, I guess, making his way over, crawling on the floor. Off screen. And he's already done going in this locker. That was really fast work. Take that! Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. This is gonna be real tough for him to squeeze out of. Hey, Pedro! You found the emotes! Surprise! Thank you. They are brand new for today. This is my first stream introducing them. So the stream that you made it is the first stream that they're here. Nyan is right. Nyan. They are. I love them so much. They are so cute. I'm super happy with all of them. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Excuse me? Oh, they're so good. I love them. I love them so much. Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. He doomed himself going in that locker. Check Discord. Alrighty, let me see. Let me open up Discord. Oh my gosh. That's perfect. So that's what you were doing in Vroid. Oh my gosh. There I am. That's actual representation of me in court. That's freaking awesome. My skin tone is a little mismatched, but you know what? We're not worried about that. That's freaking awesome. That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Yes, Pedro. Discord. That's I don't know if you're there already, but that is where you can also find me. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Join the dark side, Pedro. It's very dark in there. We're too poor to be able to afford lights, so it's quite dark. That's actually what little bit means. It's actually very hard to see in there. We're running into things a lot of times. Running is highly discouraged. But yeah. Oh, the white cloth, it's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? Yeah, some of us still run anyway. The suspense is fun. Some of us just get like a really big kick out of the possibility of running into a wall or knocking over a lamp or something. It's just so exhilarating. When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. That is pretty damning evidence. Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. He's really calm after this accusation. I think you are mistaken. I bring the dark side. I just find home. Pedro is going to bring even more darkness to the Discord if they so choose to. It's gonna be even more dark. A little bit. #1 advocate for my... Well, it's not my server. I'm sharing it with Mary Owie. #1 advocate for the server. There is no choice. Yeah, you tell him a little bit. Join Pedro. We won't bother you on there. Probably. But no, like if you don't want to join the Discord, don't worry about it. I don't want to make it seem like you have to or that I'm like forcing you to. We're just having fun. Pedro joined? Hold on. Where's Pedro? Pedro! Welcome in! Glad to have you here. And don't worry, my emotes will be in the server today. So you won't just have them in the stream. You will have them on the Discord as well. Yeah, welcome in though, Pedro. So what if my locker was open? A little bit the plan worked. We got him. So much love. Thanks, guys. You're welcome, Pedro. Of course. You always bring so much love to my chat when you come in. I always love seeing you in the chat. So, absolutely. That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. Edgeworth's like, nah, it kind of means that. Nightbot doesn't like, but that's okay. What isn't Nightbot like? Nightbot has not liked a lot of things. Nightbot doesn't like me. It's okay. I'll put him in timeout if I need to, Pedro. We've had to do that before. I thought he learned his lesson. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. He is so ignorant. He is so ignorant of the issue of that. You're not fooling anybody, Marshall. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? This guy isn't just playing dumb. Yeah, he genuinely is not aware. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person that can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker? Now prove it. Why are we proving this? This is very well established. A fingerprint sensor? We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. Which I find hard to believe, but I digress. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Ooh! I only got 1 word for you, partner. That's a weird way to... Okay. I only got 1 word. Proceeds to scream the word no. I guess that is 1 word. Order. Witness, explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst one I've ever heard. I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Is he gonna admit? Is he gonna admit to it? He has to, right? Like, that's it. Please answer the question. Oh, Ole. That's what he said. What is he now, a bullfighter? I don't know. I think it's leather. I think he's just biting on leather. That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. Oh, Pedro, you think it's jerky too? Maybe it is. Now I'm hungry. Hungry for jerky? It's just, the reason I thought it was leather, it's just really weird, unappetizing looking jerky, if it's jerky. Like, who's seen light brown? I guess it exists. Maybe it's old jerky. He's got old jerky. He just keeps it in his pocket. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? It's painfully obvious. It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. This is one thing I've known for a very long time. That this was not Goodman, and this was Marshall. There? But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. I mean, he's not the victim, because he didn't die there. I guess, yeah. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. I've known this for so long, and the game's being confusing about what I know. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. Dun dun dun! May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir.
I'm ready to kick some ass.
Moshe, whose ass are you ready to kick? Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had hid his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. Yeah, that is still... No, okay, I know why he didn't. He did have the evidence, he did have the card, but Meekins would have realized that the person on the card is not the person's face who he had seen just then. And he would know that that person was using the wrong card. That's why he had to attack him. It's not that he didn't have the card, which is what I was thinking at the beginning. But that's the reason why. Meekins would have known that the card was stolen. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? Alright, is that jerky or is that leather? Debate. Chat, debate. Jerky or leather? Hold up. We need a poll. Somebody do a poll. We have 2 for jerky. I can't do a poll from here, I don't think. I have to do it. Oh, Mary Owie Mary always says it's leather. Somebody do a poll in chat. The second frame. Thank you, Rezi. All right. Whatever you guys decide is what we're gonna call it. Chat, you know what to do. All right, let's wait for the poll to end. I see how this is swinging. I see how this is going. All right, well, the poll's half over. Let me just click through it while we wait. Oh, look, there it is. It's still visible. You got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. Alright, I already know what the poll's gonna be. I know what it's gonna be. Yeah, of course. Chat think the leather the character is wearing on his body is different from the color of the jerky. Pedro's trying to be analytical here. When in reality, Pedro, it could be a different leather, not found on his clothing. Yep, there it is, jerky. Color me surprised. All right. We're calling it jerky. Where is it? Where is it?
Objection!
You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Jerky is now the canon thing that he is biting on. Who voted for leather? Who's the one person that voted for leather? I didn't vote. But who voted for leather? Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. We know who voted. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. You've said that already, Marshall. Now it's just getting insulting. I think it probably was Mary that voted. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? I mean, at this point, do we really need this kind of evidence? Everything points to him. Send Mary to jail. Send Mary to jerky jail. But, like, honestly, do we really need to prove that he dressed up as the victim? At this point? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. Bureaucracy. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. All right, I know what we're presenting. I know what we're gonna show the court. This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? It is very obvious. It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. Add on Edgeworth. All right, let's wait for the ad to finish. Silly ads. Silly ads trying to play over my gameplay. I mean, I know I'm affiliate, and that's the reason why, but still. It's very quiet. There's not even any music. Just silence. All right, sweet. Anyway, this is what we need. This right here. Doesn't prove that he dressed up as Goodman, but it does prove that there was something lost by Goodman. And that is the ID card. Awkward turtle? What about an awkward turtle? What is that? What does that mean? I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was open in the first place? What do you mean? I don't know about Awkward Turtle. Enlighten me, Rezi. There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been. That's true. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. Okay. What's there to enlighten Awkward Turtle just is and always has been? Well, I guess I will continue to remain unenlightened. Awkward Turtle seems to be a deity of some sorts. An unknowable deity. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that. He opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. Really? I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. Very well, let's take yet another look at the security tape. So, what I don't understand, I mean, I don't know why we don't know why he needed to go in Detective Goodman's locker to begin with. That's still a big mystery. It obviously ties into this because that's where the evidence for this case was stored. And Marshall's relative was a victim in that case. So there's something in there that he wanted, but why? Was he trying to solve it himself? Because I don't think that this case was actually solved. I feel like I wonder if what if Marshall had nothing to do with the murder? And what he was doing was unrelated to the murder, and he was trying to do something else. Or maybe he did commit the murder. It's man, it's just so many things. But yeah. That's why he went into the locker. He wanted to get something out of there pertaining to the case of his dead relative. And I think it was because he was not satisfied with how the case ended. It was not solved, and I'm very sure of that. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. I'm gonna go ahead and save. Protect myself from this game's occasional silliness. Okay, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker. I can't believe the amount of things in this video that we just miss. Okay, then there's the glove that falls out. He was ready with that knife. He was ready to go. I mean, he couldn't have put in the out... Wait. Yeah, he's got blood on his jacket. That's gotta be what the cloth is, but I'm just thinking how he did that so fast. That's gotta be what he stowed, because he can't walk out there with blood on him. But my goodness. Alright, maybe he cut himself. He was already with the knife. He doesn't have blood on him beforehand. I think... I'm pretty sure that's gotta be what the game's going for. So, Pedro, this is where the officer gets cut. So, this knife cuts his hand, which is, I'm assuming, what this blood is. Hey, adventuring! Welcome to the stream. Thanks for lurking. Yeah, that's the officer's blood, yeah. That's gotta be the reason that he stows the cloth in there. There's really nothing else that makes sense. The officer hugged him, yeah. I guess, yeah, that's just a weird place to get blood on you. Alright, but yeah, that's gotta be... That's gotta be the explanation. I don't really see anything else that makes sense. I wish this could rewind faster. Alright, ah, shoot. The controls! Alright, and pause. Alright. This is the reason he had to open that locker. Which makes sense. He didn't plan to assault Meekins. That makes perfect sense. This was not in his plan. That's the one detail that was unexpected for Marshall. The fact that he would have to fight Meekins. But that does raise a question. If he didn't intend to attack anybody... Yeah, he was hiding the blood, exactly. If he wasn't intending to attack anybody, why does he have Edgeworth's knife? This is Edgeworth's knife. He stole this. But why? Was he planning to use it to kill Goodman later? Or maybe he'd already killed him. That's the thing, we don't know. Maybe. I'm pretty sure this was found in Edgeworth's... I don't remember. Actually, I don't remember where this was found. We got this really early in. So this had to have been found at the garage. Because these events that we're seeing here were not publicized to the court or to Phoenix that they had happened. But we had this really early in, as you can see. This is the third piece of evidence we got. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the posture check. But yeah, it's weird that he had this knife to begin with. Thank you for the hydrate. Alright. Is that actually blood on him from the start? And the guy just stole the knife? And after killing, he hid the knife? No, actually. Hey, Salty! How's it going? This blood is not present up until this point. After the injury. See, you can tell. How are you doing, Salty? There's no blood on either side of his shoulders. Alright, but we're gonna move forward. That's my theory. I'm pretty sure he wanted to frame Edgeworth. I guess, but yeah. He had stolen this knife. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. There we go. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? So even with this, we can't really say that Marshall committed the murder. He's guilty of assault, and let's be honest, a fair amount of other crimes, but we can't really say he committed the murder. Though it does make him very suspicious because he is dressed up as the victim. So he did seemingly get tied up with the victim around the same time of the crime, which is still very suspicious. I have to go now. I'm glad you're figuring this out. You got this. Thanks, little bit. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks for stopping by. So he just admitted rather than saying, I don't know about the coat. Well, Salty, we've kind of pinned him into a corner. There's some other stuff you didn't see, but basically we had already proven, first of all, that he was in the room. Second of all, that he was dressed up as Detective Goodman. Third of all, that he didn't need... It was a bunch of stuff. We even figured out how he opened Goodman's locker. There's a lot of things, basically. So that was basically the last thing we really needed to put together. Yes, Salty, you found the emotes! They're brand new! And this is their premiere stream. That was a surprise I said on Discord, if you happen to see that message. I have emotes now! Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay. He's talking about the case. The reason he went into that locker, which I already knew. It's from SL9. He's going back to SL9. This goes way back. If you were only half as persistent then as you are today. Oh. He's upset with Edgeworth. So he was trying to frame him. We all wouldn't have to be here now. Now would we? Hey! Salty, thank you for the bits! Thank you for the 126 bits! And that reached my bits goal! Thank you! Thank you, Salty! Let's go! It's right! A little bit wants you to say hi in her chat real quick. Oh, Salty. Thank you so much, Salty. We hit a milestone because of you. Bit goal. Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. All right. Seems like the time has come. Yeah, it's about time you start being truthful. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. Yeah, he had to. That was the day that all the evidence was going to get taken out and put into storage. This was his last day to do it. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. You did more than that. You freaking cut his hand. Yes, thank you, Salty. I was thinking that was the reason for the very specific bits donation. I appreciate it, Salty. That was really awesome. That was really generous. I appreciate it. And I managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. Yeah, I've already surmised that. So, once again, we're left with the age-old question: where did the murder actually occur? Because I know it. I don't think it happened in the garage. It obviously didn't happen in the evidence room. I just wonder where he got this outfit of Goodman's without Goodman being dead at this point. Is Goodman just like one of those cartoon characters that just has the same copy of clothes? He just takes out a new identical pair of clothes and puts it on. Did Marshall just go into like Goodman's wardrobe and just take one of his like 10 pairs of identical suits and just take one? Like that's what happened, right? Yes, that emote. So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins cut his own hand? So he didn't cut him? My guess is he's the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation. Is that really what happened? Did Meekins cut his hand? His own hand? And yeah, that is a lot of blood for like a hand, a cut hand. But I didn't really think about it much, because this game, as we know, is not that precise on certain details. But this is where we're going to open up SL9 and figure out the root of why Marshall did what he did. When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, pardon? The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since the case was closed. He was going to completely end with the transferal that day. The man shaving himself in court, that's straight up contempt, I know. Take that outside, Marshall. No one wants to see that in here. He's like getting his freaking beard hair all over the place. Get that out of here, Marshall. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? I'm also amazed at how much he can actually shave and not manage to cut any of his hair off. When a case is closed, only the case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. Wait, he's on stand for possible murder, and he has a fucking knife. Yeah. You know what? Salty, I didn't think about that, but you're right. They let him bring a knife in. A potential murder suspect. Well, to be fair, he was called in as a witness, not connected to... Not a suspect. But even still, why does he have a knife? Especially now. You're wrong, Destroyer. He's not shaving. He's sharpening the blunt knife. He's sharpening his knife on his beard hair. His beard hair is razor sharp. But still. Alistair! Oh my gosh. Alistair, why are you coming in here bringing chaos? Mary Alley did not say that. You just had to enter with a bang. You just had to enter bringing in chaos. That's your identity now. She did not. I am not believing that. No, I'm not believing you either, Adventuring. You guys are on the same page. You guys have both conspired this. It was kind of wild. I didn't believe it. Yeah, like you wouldn't believe that, Alistair. Suck for you, Destroyer knows me too well. I'm confused because you're really good at it. Oh my gosh, you two. You guys are like... One of you is like a tornado and the other one's like a hurricane. You're just different kinds of chaos. Or wait, sorry, an earthquake. Someone's a hurricane and someone's an earthquake. You're just different forms of chaos. Why would I say something so mean? Oh. Gee, I don't know, Alistair. Beats me. Mary is too kind to say those things. Mary, put the knife down. Pedro, it's just the knife that Marshall's using. It's blunt. Now, if Mary picked up Marshall's beard hair, that would be terrifying. I don't know what Rezi said. Well, to be fair, why would Alice Stare believe Mary in the first place? Oh, Rezi's got a point. Alistair, why would you believe Mary Alley about your second favorite streamer? As far as I know, that's me. Right? That's what you told me last. Why would you believe such a thing about your second favorite streamer? You said it about you, but not me. I know, Pedro. I'm not even Alistar's favorite. It's heartbreaking. We made shirts with your face on them. I'm just letting you know what I read. Alright, but you don't believe that, Alistair. Why we are confused. Chat court is on fire. Mary is a criminal. Oh, thanks, Salty. Alistair, guess what Salty did? Salty got me to the 1,000 bit donation milestone. Like 15 minutes ago. 2 times the felony. I just want to know what she is saying in my chat. 1,000 bit donation, that's awesome. Let's go. Well, it wasn't 1,000 bits. Salty got me to the 1,000 bits. There was some bits already there. A lot of bits already there. But Salty did the final push. How many bits for you to believe us, huh? What's the bribe? Oh, I don't know, Adventuring. If you're naming a price, though... I'm sure I could think of a reasonable amount that would possibly persuade me towards your side of things. I've been watching old videos and I saw how much Salty used to love me and watched the love fade from his eyes. Oh no, Salty still loves you, Mary Alley. I know, Pedro. It's a tragic story. Free to slander Mary on stream and Discord. I don't blame Salty. I need a price. I don't want to give you a price. I don't want to give you a price. I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to just get money out of you guys. You have to slander Mary Owie though. Slander is a big word. That's crazy, look at him thinking. I mean, gotta make fun of her blue hair for 1 minute. Alright, so are we just what's the terms here? Are we just making fun of Mary Owie's blue hair? Is that the terms? Animals, heathens, demons, minorities. I know, Pedro. It's pretty cool. The other kinds. Everything that Alistair can think of. Defend Mary! Okay. Operation Defend Mary. He isn't defending Mary Owie. You saw it here first. Mary Owie, you haven't even been here? Alistair is telling me that they will... Well, Alistair and Adventuring are telling me that I am to name a price, and... Oh my gosh, that's an in-game action, Adventuring. It's not the same. And thank you for making me realize to never add a ban out game action, Adventuring. You'll terrorize me doing that.
This is my perfect victory! That's right! I win!
You should put an out game action. Put 200 bits. I got you. No. Anyway, Mary Owie, Adventuring and Alistair want me to slander you, and they will give me an amount of money that they are telling me to name the price of. That's what happened while you were in ads. Pedro is thoroughly against this. Good guy Pedro. Pedro is not for it. You're not gonna slander Pedro. I will not let you slander Pedro. This story, I would not do it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to let today go. Today is a very particular day, so I can't do it. I can't do it. Pedro, how much? Don't bribe Pedro. Both present mods are stuck with ads. They took the opportunity to strike the crafty buggers. Oh, that's right. Both of my mods were stuck in ads and chaos ensued. Don't do it, Destoria. Pedro, I will bribe you. Now we're talking. Pedro! Pedro, don't you do it. Don't you tell me not to do it, and then you do it. Why does he care so much about it? Alright, we're gonna move on. I don't guess there's gonna be a bribe today, Pedro. Pedro, no taking bribes. I'm gonna add that to the rules. Specifically for Pedro. Pedro cannot accept bribes in my chat. Specific rule. I need to lay down some justice in here. Yeah, just you. Everybody else can. You've lost your bribe-taking privileges, Pedro. That day was my last chance. That's why. Ban in-game. How do you have all of these channel points adventuring? I didn't know you had this many. How many streams have you been lurking in? That's not an in-game action anyway. Pedro can't accept bribes on chat. Yeah. I watch you so much. You're my fave. Oh, thank you, Adventuring. Don't let Alistair hear that. I mean, that's better than Alistair. Alistair said I'm his second favorite, so. Just on chat. I got you, Pedro. But thank you, Adventuring. I appreciate that. That's really nice of you. The only reason Alistair and Adventuring came over here is because they were getting destroyed at the game they were playing and needed to vent. These are facts. Adventuring's not even denying it. Love you all. Adventuring, slide on my DMs. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I plan to take out the evidence. Why'd you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filing out that lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. Interesting. So that's how it ended up in the garage. I still don't understand how he got Goodman's outfit, though. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. The ID card I found there was left there by Officer Marshall. I gotta make a formal apology to Rezi. Sorcerer said I harassed you, and now a fruit gonna fly at my head. Uh-oh, Adventuring. Watch out for the fruit. Depending on which one, it could be very painful. Pray it's a grape. So essentially...
No way! Somebody just touched my butt!
Did somebody just touch your butt, Adventuring?
Nani the fuck?
Facts. Yeah, Nani the fuck is right. Of course, I know where that phrase is from, but I doubt anybody else does. You need to learn the ways of Fruit Ninja. It was Alistair. What was Alistair? You managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Yep, that's what that means, but when did that happen? This is true, and I need a new sword. Touched booties. Pedro is stunned. Pedro is shocked. I'm never gonna finish this case. This is what I'm realizing. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a one-of-a-million type of person. Yeah, he is. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry that it turned out this way. With me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out, and... I mean, the knife that we see in the recording is not that knife. For sure. I confirmed this. One time I saw Alistair cut off an old, nice blind lady on the road. He didn't throw himself into the knife, he only did that after getting sliced. Why was the nice old blind lady driving? Was she driving? Maybe she needed to get cut off if she was driving. The only thing is Meekins isn't holding a knife. Yeah, that's definitely not his knife. That's a different knife. She was crossing the road and Alistair didn't let her. Officer Marshall said that the guard threw himself first. Alistair also doesn't let his dishes soak in water. I've heard that about Alistair. So you did your research beforehand. Those who go in the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. He also stole a kid's candy money. Alistair! Alistair, why would you do that? Why would you steal a little child's candy money? Is that how Alistair funds his video game purchases, off of the candy money of innocent children? Is that where the next $20 is gonna come? Alistair. We finally know the truth about Alistair and his income. It's from little children's candy money. So what you're saying is, on that day... I know. Scandalous, Pedro. It's scandalous. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. Wait a second. Hold on a second. One time he didn't wash his hands before grabbing something from a lunch buffet. Alistair, I'm hearing a lot of terrible things about you. Was there blood inside of... No, there wasn't. There wasn't any blood in here. Okay. Well, that was... There goes that idea. Yeah, where did all that blood come from? What are you, blind? The victim shown on the tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker? Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. Really? So Goodman took out the evidence beforehand? But why? I bet one of the things that's missing is this other piece of the jar. Because we noted that there was a piece missing. And we couldn't find it there. Alistair doesn't rinse himself before going into a pool. Freaking Alistair! Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately. Alistair is lucky that none of these things are technically illegal. Just highly frowned upon. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Marshall, I no longer feel that is... I feel like we're past that point. You are taking the witness stand. You're swearing to be truthful, and you are now admitting to a crime. I don't think you have the luxury to decide whether or not to answer. I think that luxury is long gone, Marshall. He one time stole a raccoon's dumpster food. That poor raccoon. Just imagine that raccoon is like going in the dumpster. He's like, oh man, I can't wait to have some leftover McDonald's. And like he crawls, the raccoon crawls in the dumpster, starts digging around. He finds like a French fry. And then there comes Alistair around the corner with an evil glint in his eye as he slowly reaches in to the dumpster and steals the single French fry right out of the raccoon's little hand. Tragic story. It's terrible. It makes me cry every time. He did the little dance when he saw the McDonald's only to have it stolen. No! Pedro. I know. And Alistair just slowly walks away, and the raccoon's just, he's got a little tear in his eye, and that little French fry was gonna go to his one surviving baby raccoon that he's trying to provide for. 5 blocks away, because all the other dumpsters the raccoon has tried were all locked. This was his final dumpster. This is his final jumpster before that he could try. It is sad. It's terrible. And then not only that, when the raccoon made it back to where his sole surviving son was, he found a notice on his little raccoon home that said foreclosure. The raccoon lost his home and he's on the streets now with his only son raccoon. Homeless and hungry. And that's where Alistair left them. It was tragic. Yeah, holy moly, I know. Terrible. Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. Did you like to invent stories? Well, I felt inspired with the raccoon. Well, you see, I heard it from an eyewitness who is very close to the situation. And they were deeply disturbed, and they felt like, I can't really confront Alistair about this, but I gotta confide in someone. And so that person basically told me all the details. And it did take a load off their chest, but it didn't erase the damage that was done. Yeah. It's a very sad story. This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. You can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are even a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. One time, Alistair switched the sugar for salt at a coffee shop and laughed at ruining their coffee. Take that! You helped Alistair on the stealing. Who, me? Pedro. Are you accusing me of being an accomplice? But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? I'd like to see your evidence, Pedro. Oh, well. Sorry, Pedro. Then that claim is based on circumstantial testimony. That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out. But there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Alright, let's get to the meat of this. Let's figure out what his issue is with this. Something no one will talk about. What happened? Thank you for the hydrate, Salty, and the posture check. Oh, shoot! I was muted!
Nya.
I muted temporarily to hydrate. Alright. The story of blink twice if you're in danger. Alright, anyway, my commentary. Where was I? Where was I? What was I saying? Why can't I get back to the profiles? Thanks for the hydrate, Salty. I don't have that much water to hydrate with. That's too much hydration. I would have to leave to get more water. My goodness. I took a big... Alright, I'm leaving. I'm getting more water. Alright. Anyway, where was I? I did! I'll drink again. Salty, you're gonna give me a stomach ache from all this water.
Nya.
I've drinking too much. I'm drinking so much water. I'm ready to play. Alright. Anyway, what I was saying. When I was muted. I don't think he's the one that committed the murder. I think that's pretty evident. I think Gant is the one that committed the murder. The guy that I was mousing over, but for some reason I can't look at. For some reason. I don't know how, but he's my primary suspect. But these files right here is why Marshall can't let this case go. Now, just to reference that real quick. Whoever Neil Marshall is, this is family of this Marshall. That's why he can't let it go. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file right here. The name Marshall is mentioned here. Yeah, that got his attention. In a list of murder victims, Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago. Oh, we're getting a flashback here. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He was a victim. Interesting. He handled the SL9 case before I did. Whoa! So he was in charge of... He was the prosecutor of the case before Edgeworth was, and then he was murdered? That's crazy. That's right. He was killed. and the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? I'm gonna guess brother. I was right. He was my brother. He was investigating the murders of Damon Gant, the then Deputy Chief of Police. Hang on a second. What if... Okay, I could go to profiles now. I don't know why I couldn't before. Oh, there's Neil Marshall. Prosecutor murdered 2 years ago in the SL9 incident, Jake Marshall's brother. What if Damon Gant was the serial killer? And he killed again. Wait a second. Have I just figured this out? Okay, wait, okay. Here, listen here. What if, bear with me, what if Bruce Goodman also felt like the case did not end correctly, like they got the wrong person, and he was taking out evidence to re-examine the case before it got shut down completely, before the evidence was put away in storage. He was doing that, but also Jake Marshall wanted to do the same thing, but Goodman did it first. Jake Marshall goes in, disguises Goodman to take out the evidence. The evidence is already gone because Goodman took it. Gant, knowing that there was a chance he might be discovered, kills Bruce Goodman. Being the chief of police, he would have no issue. I won't say no issue, but he would have fewer issues carrying out something like this and getting it hidden. We already know shifty stuff is happening in the police station. What if Damon Gant was the serial killer, and knowing that he might get discovered 2 years later, he kills Goodman? Because maybe Goodman found out something recently. But then that still doesn't tie in Lana Skye. Why is Lana Skye involved? And why is Lana Skye acting this way? I have a feeling it ties into her sister, Emma Skye. Because Emma ran away after she realized that this case was related to SL9. And Emma Skye... Let's see, where is it? Let's look at this. Emma Skye was a witness here, and so was Lana Skye. What if Lana Skye... Okay, I'm going way off into theory territory here. But what if Lana Skye knows who the serial killer is and knows that it's Gant? But to protect Emma Skye, she has to take the fall in this case. What if Emma Skye is in danger and she doesn't realize it, and Lana Skye knows? That's how all of this could fit together. That's how everything could fit together. I don't know how Gant would be manipulating things to this degree with Lana Skye and Emma Skye, but that makes sense, and that would also make sense as to why he wasn't caught. Lana Skye might not have been truthful about what she saw or what she knew.
It makes
Celebratory cheepy cheepy choppa choppa for figuring out the case. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. I'll be very surprised if that's wrong. I mean, I know that's super theory territory, but that's how everything can fit together with how we understand things. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. Maybe there were two murderers. Maybe his brother was killed by Gant. But why? No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it. That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. Unfortunately, the reason Edgeworth is going along with this is because this helps Edgeworth's case. The only other crime scene we have is the garage. However, it would make sense that if Gant was the one that committed the real murder, he would be able to hide that much more easily. Where the crime actually took place, and the crime scene itself. The things that happened by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. However, we can't say that. The one thing that obviously doesn't make sense is this knife. Okay, but how did the Kennedys and the little green men figure into it? Well, that seems like a mystery for another day, Resin. Couldn't tell you. But this knife, this is Edgeworth's knife. It can't be at two places at the same time. This couldn't have been the murder weapon. Because it wasn't there at the time that this happened. As we see in the video. Chance? It's gotta be more than just that. The thing is, Lana was framed, and Lana is intentionally trying to be framed, I think, to protect her sister from Gant. And Lana is willing to take the fall for it. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky. But wait! A verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely uncontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. Edgeworth's being snarky. The knife of a phoenix. Phoenix hasn't caught on yet. Ah! He says. I rest my case. It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time. It's not over yet, Edgeworth. Disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant... Hold up.
Objection!
There it is! Emma! Your Honor, wait! What could she possibly have to say? Emma! The defense has an objection, a scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? He's just as confused as everyone else. Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? Oh, in a sense. Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. Come on, Edgeworth, have a heart. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings. Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. What? That left only one thing, the other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again. So did you find something? No. Huh? Sorry. I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all. But surely there's a reason she came. Is that all? Phoenix. Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. And I'm just an attorney. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you. Me? Oh boy. Yeah, it's my thoughts exactly. I thought Emma was gonna bail us out. We are not bailed out. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. We gotta find an issue with that locker. Those prints on the locker. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Wait a second. Is this the print that we're gonna attribute to Gant? But why would Gant be there? Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be... Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day. Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? Well, obviously, we have to... I want to try to figure it out. So there it is. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. I don't want to get any more information that the game is not giving me beforehand. Oh, we don't even have that in our court record. Okay, that's fine. All right. Then let's look at the floor plan. So it's right there. We know that there's no prints left. That it was a glove. I mean... Wait a second. In the video, there's nothing. We don't see blood on the. We don't see blood on the glove. I guess it's possible he touched the blood before touching the locker. Maybe that's where it's going, though. I'd also be curious about where that glove is. Hey, thanks for the raid, Alistair. Hey, Alistair, adventuring panda. Thanks for the hydrate. Should have heard what Mary Alice said about you. Oh, I know. I'm sure it was terrible, awful stuff. I bet. How are you guys doing? Terrible. Oh, I imagine. The worst of the worst. Just groundbreaking stuff here. Clearly shows a contradiction. I'm trying to figure out why this handprint is important. And I think I have an idea. The only thing that seems clear is you grasping, Mr. Wright. But I'll be back because I gotta eat. Okay, Alistair. Go eat. Go take care of yourself. Destroyer heard a few things about you, though. Don't get him started. Let him eat. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. I think it has to do with the floor plans, actually. Because it was paying special attention to that. Wait a sec. Wait a second. Wait a second. Let me watch this again. I think I figured it out. Maybe? I don't think there was an opportunity for those prints to be left there. That's what it is. Okay, so this is where he gets blood. He gets blood everywhere and stuff. There's the blood. I guess there is an opportunity for them to... The problem is the locker is obscured by the blue badger. I gotta think about this. Why couldn't there be prints on that locker? Or if there are, why is that handprint the way it is? Is it because the blue badger is in the way? In front of the locker? Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yeah, he is talking about the blue badger. The blue badger was in the way. Yeah, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. I mean, we kinda are, but don't tell the judge that. Very well, Mr. Wright. With all the evidence here, there's gotta be something I can use. The Question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans? The blue badger. The blue badger. This is it. It's gotta be. Thank you, Mojo. I think, honestly, I need to turn off the rupee sound because that kind of keys me in to a sound alert. I'm gonna turn off the rupee sound. I don't know if it would have gotten me otherwise, but still, I'll have to remove that. I like the touch of the rupee sound effect, but it kind of gives me a hint. What about that piece of plywood? The blue badger, mascot of the police force, defender of truth, guardian of proof. So cringy, Phoenix. That's so cringy. Rupee sound effects should be for bits. That's a good idea, Rezi. I like that idea. Thanks, Rezi. I'm gonna do that. I didn't even think of that, but that's perfect. That makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna move that over. Good thinking, Rezi. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The blue badger is not here. So? So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what? That's right. So long as the blue badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. Why is he upset? Does he know something? So that means, just exactly what does that mean? One thing that's still been bothering me is this. This right here. We don't know who this is, but I've got a suspicion. We know that at 450, wow, I don't know, well, I don't know about we know, but I remember 450 is when Meekins moved the badger in. This is when Marshall came in, and this is when Meekins came in. This, I think, is when that blood mark appeared. Maybe this is when the murder happened, just before this. But why? And how? That's my theory. That's what I'm going with. That's the time when that blood appeared on the locker, before the blue badger came in. It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker. Don't look at me, I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the blue badge to the evidence room, right? Yep, that's what we surmised. After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the blue badger was brought in? Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. Far-fetched balderdash, he says. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. Oh! Oh my gosh, that gave me goosebumps. It makes sense now. It makes sense now. The problem is the other time. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? We already know. It had to have happened at that one time we haven't accounted for. To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right, the blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place? There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place? If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card? Oh, the ID card record. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room. Let's see here. 450. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. No, that's not what it happened. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done? Oh, is this really the route Phoenix is going? Oh, Phoenix is going this route. Okay. Never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. What does Edgeworth have to say? It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood, Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again. Yeah, this is where I was going. I wasn't wanting to accuse Edgeworth. There's only one other card number remaining. All those 7s. Are we tag teaming again? There's a lot of tag teaming in this game. Unless you're talking about chat. There's a lot of that in the chat too. Pick your poison. Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room? He didn't. Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. Oh, that's what he was saying. Yep. That's the only way it would make sense. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with all those 7s. Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. I smell another investigation day. Find out whose ID number is 7777777. That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Oh, it's so obviously gamed. It's so obviously gamed. Someone who is so-called executive officer. Time to drown Destoria. No, I've already drowned. I've drowned 5 times already. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous. Just how... I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. Alright, here we go. Alright, that's 5 sips of water. Alright, 1 more. 2 more. Alright, I wanna... Let's finish this case. I'm very much hydrated. An official charge. You're all a lack, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes? No, not you. To her. The defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana? Don't be stupid. She has been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 777777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. Day-long stream of Dystoria in the same spot in-game because the chat distracts us. Yeah, that sounds about right. All I want to know is one thing about that incident. The SL9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. Oh. So she's admitting to it. She falsified evidence? That's why she's guilty. Yeah, that's what I'm connecting. But she did it because of him. That's my theory. It all goes back to my original theory. He was gonna do something to Emma. Or Lana at this point. But definitely Emma at some point. Gant was the one that did it. Sad a lot of people are put on in that position in that real life. Yeah, it is. I'm sure that theory's right. That's what she's guilty of. Yeah, there's a lot of just a lot of manipulating people, just in general. Unfortunately. Lana, I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in the crime, in the eye, and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't! I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence. See, that's what I'm talking about. No. No! Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. Wow. That's crazy.